The Hammersmith Ghost murder case refers to a peculiar incident that occurred in London in 1803. The story revolved around sightings of a ghostly figure in the Hammersmith area, which caused a significant stir in the community. Reports of a ghostly apparition haunting the area led to fear and panic among the locals. Several people claimed to have seen a figure draped in white, supposedly haunting the churchyard and nearby lanes. These sightings caused such alarm that some residents were afraid to go out after dark. From November 1803, a number of people in the Hammersmith area claimed to have seen, and some to have been attacked by, a ghost. Local people said the ghost was of a man who had committed suicide the previous year and had been buried in Hammersmith churchyard. The contemporary belief was that suicide victims should not be buried in consecrated ground, as their souls would not then be at rest. The apparition was described as being very tall and dressed in all white, but was also said to wear a calfskin garment with horns and large glass eyes at other times. Stories about the ghost soon began to circulate. 2 women, one elderly and the other pregnant, were reported to have been seized by the ghost on separate occasions while walking near the churchyard. They were apparently so frightened they both died from shock a few days afterwards. A brewer's servant, Thomas Groom, later testified that while walking through the churchyard with a companion one night close to 9:00, something rose from behind a tombstone and seized him by the throat. Hearing the scuffle, his companion turned around, at which the ghost gave me a twist round, and I saw nothing. I gave a bit of a push out with my fist and felt something soft, like a great coat. On 29th December, William Girdler, a night watchman, saw the ghost while near Beaver Lane and gave chase. The apparition threw off its shroud and managed to escape. With London not having an organised police force at the time, and as many people were very much frightened according to Girdler, several citizens formed armed patrols in the hope of apprehending the ghost. At the corner of Beaver Lane, while making his rounds at around 10 in the evening on the 3rd January 1804, Girdler met one of the armed citizens patrolling the area, 29-year-old excise officer Francis Smith. Armed with a shotgun, Smith told Girdler he was going to look for the supposed ghost. Girdler agreed that he would join Smith after he had called the hour at 11:00, and that they would take the ghost if possible. They then went their separate ways. Just after 11, Smith encountered Thomas Millwood, a bricklayer who was wearing the normal white clothing of his trade, linen trousers entirely white, washed very clean, a waistcoat of flannel, apparently new, very white, and an apron, which he wore round him. Millwood had been heading home from a visit to his parents and sister, who lived in Black Lion Lane. According to Anne Millwood, the bricklayer's sister, immediately after seeing her brother off, she heard Smith challenge him, saying, "Damn you, who are you and what are you? Damn you, I'll shoot you." After which, Smith shot him in the left of the lower jaw and killed him. After hearing the shot, Girdler and Smith's neighbour, one John Locke, together with a George Stowe, met Smith, who appeared very much agitated. Upon seeing Millwood's body, the others advised Smith to return home. Meanwhile, a constable arrived at the scene and took Smith into custody. Millwood's corpse was carried to an inn, where a surgeon, Mr. Flower, examined the body on 6th January and pronounced death to be the result of a gunshot wound on the left side of the lower jaw with small shot, one of which had penetrated the vertebra of the neck and injured the spinal marrow. Smith was tried for willful murder. The deceased's wife, Mrs. Fulbrook, stated that she had warned him to cover his white clothing with a great coat, as he had already been mistaken for the ghost on a previous occasion. The Lord Chief Baron observed that Smith had neither acted in self-defence nor shot Millwood by accident. He had not been provoked by the supposed apparition, nor had he attempted to apprehend it. Millwood had not committed any offense to justify being shot, and even if the supposed ghost had been shot, it would not have been acceptable. As frightening people while pretending to be a ghost was not a serious felony, but a far less serious misdemeanor, meriting only a small fine. The judge closed his remarks by reminding the jury that the previous good character of the accused meant nothing in this case. MacDonald directed the jury to find the accused guilty of murder if they believed the facts presented by the witnesses. After considering for an hour, the jury returned a verdict of manslaughter. MacDonald informed the jury that the court could not receive such a verdict, and that they must either find Smith guilty of murder or acquit him. That Smith believed Millwood was a ghost was irrelevant. The jury then returned with a verdict of guilty. After passing the customary sentence of death, MacDonald said that he intended to report the case to the king, who had the power to commute the sentence. The initial sentence of hanging and dissection was commuted to a year's hard labor. The huge publicity given to the case persuaded the true culprit to come forward. John Graham, an elderly shoemaker, had been pretending to be a ghost by using a white sheet to frighten his apprentice, who had been scaring Graham's children with ghost stories. There is no record of Graham ever being punished. The Hammersmith Ghost murder case had a notable impact on the legal system in England, particularly regarding self-defense laws and the use of lethal force in cases of mistaken identity. This case highlighted the dangers of acting hastily based on mistaken beliefs, especially in situations where fear and hysteria prevail. The tragic shooting of Thomas Millwood by Francis Smith, who mistook him for a ghost, led to discussions about the appropriate use of force in self-defense situations. As a result of the case and its public attention, it contributed to legal discussions and considerations regarding self-defense laws. It prompted a closer examination of the circumstances under which lethal force could be justifiably used, and the need for individuals to accurately assess potential threats before taking action. The case of the Hammersmith Ghost became a significant example of the dangers of hysteria and the consequences of acting upon mistaken beliefs in times of fear and panic. Thanks for watching.